All right, everyone. Hello, hello. How are you all doing? My name is Wendy Hatton, and this is the Clients Getting Premium Clients, no, Coaches Getting Premium Clients show. And I am here today with Jeannie Dougherty, who is a money mindset, money coach type of coach, which is what we all need. How many people here need a influx of money? Well, she's the one who's going to help us with all of that. So, welcome to the show, Jeannie. I'm really glad to have you here today.
Thank you so much, Wendy. I'm excited to be here because you are also amazing. So I love it when amazing talent gets together. It's nothing but synergy.
Oh, that's so fun. Thank you so much. So the first thing what I usually do is ask how did you get to doing what you're doing right now in terms of what you're coaching on?
Yeah. So I started my first business 2011. So it'll be 12 years in June when I started my first business. And I started having money problems because no one in my family really knew how to run a business. They hadn't really done it before. And so it was just a lot of chaos. And I decided I was going to do it. I was like, I think I can do it, therefore I will. That was kind of my thoughts then. And I had no idea how hard it was until I got going. And of course, I had opportunities to go back if, wanted to go, back to the regular job, but I was like, no, I'm not going to do this. So why I decided to move forward in my life, with the money piece was that I was like, it can't be this hard. It can't not be this difficult to run a business and make money. And, it just seemed like for a few years, I was like proven wrong every day. So I made it my mission at that point of I really want to get better at my business and I want to get better with my money because along my path, what happened is my mother, she got very sick and she passed away. And that really kind of upended, what I was doing as a person, what I was doing with my business. And, then I had different dynamics, talking about inheritance, wills, her care, all kinds of things. So I had just had more of an expansive view of what money looks like in a family, let alone everything else under the sun. So what I decided to do was, I just kind of delved into, like you said, money mindset, money meditations, there's all kinds of stuff out there on the internet. A lot of it, unfortunately, is it's just limited. It's not going to get you that far. It's only going to get you maybe one thing, maybe two things, but it's not going to get you the full scope.
Hmm.
And what I learned in my research is that money coaches, there's three different kinds. There's what I call the Dave Ramsey kind, which is money management, like, hey, you have a debt snowball, you're going to fix this, right? Which a lot of people could benefit from that. But I learned a lot of people bailed out. And then there's the opposite end, let's go make $1 million, Wendy. Let's go do it. It's going to be a piece of cake. We're going to do it in real estate. We're going to do it in crypto, stock market, the internet itself. I think you get it, right? And those also bomb out. And what a lot of those people who do end up finally making $1 million, it's because they spent, hours and oodles like night and day trying to figure out how to do it with an algorithm. And then they finally crack the code, but they're also $1.5 million in debt.
Mm, got it.
So, and they don't obviously tell you that. So that's part of, the bait and switch routine. So I'm actually right in the middle because I went to money coaching school. In 2018, I actually met my very first money coach. I didn't even know they existed. I kind of felt like, oh, I feel so dumb. There was this thing as a money coach because I would have thought previous to that, if you needed a money coach, it was like because you were making big money deals, like you probably needed it for that, not for your day-to-day budgeting.
Hmm.
And what happened is that I was like, oh, I'm going to take a full year of personal development with this money coach. I was like, I'm going to really invest in, and I suddenly could see like why I was having what I call the money roller coaster syndrome. It's up and down, it's up and down, it's up and down. I could see how I totally self-sabotage myself with my own thinking, but my patterns, and then how to fix them. And I also learned along the way that there are people out there that have money and they might be good at making it, but they are not necessarily good at coaching anybody.
Mm,
So
interesting.
it's very true. Like it's a true specialized skill set. So I became a money coach. I actually went to money coaching school, which I actually trained to become a money coach. And
Mhm.
I'm also a mental fitness coach because that was the thing that kept being shown to me during the pandemic was that people are not mentally feeling safe. They're not feeling strong. They're not feeling secure. They're not feeling like they can tackle things that are in front of them or let it go and move on to something else. And then also people were under so much stress, they weren't even sure if they should plan a future. Like, I really want to go in this direction. How do I do it? Well, you go in this direction
Mm-hmm.
and
Wow,
you don't
that's
try to
yeah.
make it harder on yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, and it seems like women in particular are notorious for not being able to manage their money very well, but especially if they're married to someone who is, financially supporting the household. So maybe they don't feel like they really need to pay that much attention to it. And so then
Right.
maybe some catastrophic thing happens and then he or she dies, and then they're left alone trying to figure out this financial thing. I'm just thinking of my mother when my father died.
Oh, yeah.
She was not in good shape, so luckily my brother was able to help him. But
Yeah. Yeah.
anyway, so yeah, that's really great that you are doing it because we need coaches like you for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And here's the thing. The average age for widowhood is 59 in the United States. It's 59. That's
Really,
the average.
59?
Yeah. Yeah. And
Wow.
I found it really interesting because when I really delved into the money coaching piece, is that women, we are actually better geared to handle money from a mental and emotional standpoint than most men.
Really?
But we have been taught through sometimes generation stuff, of let your man figure this out for you. You can have a man do this for you, or your husband will do this, or your father will take care of it, and it's
Hmm.
like, why can't women know how to do this?
Right. To be independent. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. So I'm really intrigued by your title. You're talking about money power that we already have inside of us. So I'm very curious to hear all about that. And you have three keys.
Yes, yes,
So,
yes, yes.
okay. So,
Um, so what inspires me and what I pay attention to is, what's the money doing? Like any type of situation, whether it's personal or professional, dealing with people one-on-one, or you're dealing with a group or organization, what's going on with the money? So I do a little financial forecasting. Like, I can talk to you about Chat GPT and where the money's going with that. And I know people in Chat GPT be like, "Shh, don't say anything," but I can already see where the money's going. But anyway, what happens is that we have, if you will, the right and left sides of our brain. The left side is primarily good for data and analysis and logic. That's primarily what it does. Now, the brain is complex. There's always more, but from a simple standpoint, this is what it does.
okay.
And the right side is more with the creativity. It's more of our passion, more of our empathy. It's more of our ability to think big picture. So how we learn money, like 9 times out of 10, or well, like 9.5, is we learn it all on the left side of the brain. And that part of the brain isn't good for what? Forecasting, financial communication, changing your mind. It's not very good at building you up if you have a money failure. It's not the right place to, if you will, store your money story. It's just not a great place to put it.
Okay.
So when you're able to rebuild the neural pathways to get you to the right side of the brain, then you can actually deal with your money situation, whatever it could be in front of you, and as well as your mental health. So you feel like you're kind of feeling a little bit better, a little bit stronger, a little wiser, a little more confident, and you're able to go do the things you actually want to do with your money. Newsflash, you can actually plan for your retirement. I know financial experts are going to strangle me right now, but you could actually get it done in about 10 years. If you're really good, maybe 5 to 6. And if you're like expert, you could do it in 3. And that's not something we teach people, because it makes more sense to have more people working 40 plus years, grinding away and being unhappy, because at least we'll have a tax base without going, well, what if people actually made the money they wanted to? And then you could actually maybe charge the taxes, every 10 years or something like that. Maybe it would look a little different in this country, but maybe people might be happier. Oh no, what do you think?
Possibly.
Or own multiple homes or whatever they want to do, those kinds of things. But we don't do it that way. We do it in a way of like, you got to work, work, work. And so people work, 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 and then they don't have any energy or time to invest in themselves. And I'm speaking more in that global sense. So winning money power is something you were born with. It's on the right side of your brain. You can retrain it 15 minutes a day in about 90 days to actually start to make more money, save more money, invest your money, and actually be able to take a financial direction and go somewhere instead of just going around in a circle, doing the things that you said you were going to do,
Interesting.
which is
Okay.
the majority of the population.
Wow. Right. Okay. So you have the three keys, and so
Yeah.
What is the first one?
So the first key is really about, looking that you might have a door of opportunity, but realizing you have the wrong key. So one of the problems, when I mentioned like the opposite ends of the spectrum of like, here, this is how you save money, this is how you manage your money, do it this way, and how people don't always do that, doesn't work for them long term. And then you got the let's go make $1 million. Oh my God. It's somebody else's plan, so that you have the store of opportunity, but it's somebody else's plan. So you probably don't have the right keys to open the door. And so we spend more time being upset with ourselves or upset about the situation or angry at the other person than realizing that maybe if I spend a little more time being nicer to myself, maybe I could actually find the right door with my own set of keys and not sit there and be like, well, I said by 30 or 40 or 50 or 60, I was going to be doing this. Is that somebody else's plan or is that your plan?
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So how about key number two?
So this is like, so there's lots of people out there, you've kind of got your key, right? And you finally got the right door, and then you're rushing and you're pushing and you're trying to get it done. You're trying to like open the door and it just won't open. Like I literally had this experience years ago in my first business. When I had to open the door, it never failed. I was running, I was rushing, and I actually had to pee. Sorry, but it's true. And I couldn't get the door open. It was only when I was in a calm and open state I could get the door open. It's, so I couldn't be irritated. I couldn't be flustered or whatever. I had to be like, okay, I'm ready to come to work now. I'm going to go do my job.
Yeah.
And that's true, because when things go wrong, as we always know, I mean, think about just this week, how many things did not quite go as expected in your business or with your money? Oh, might have been more than one, right? It might have been big, but it might have been something different. But when we get really frustrated, we actually shut down our own internal creativity. And why does that happen? It's because stress actually prohibits more creativity in our brain. And basically, to solve a problem, you're going to need more creativity.
Got it. Okay. So this is interesting. These keys are literally keys, opening doors.
Opening the door. Because, I think it's always like in those horror films, it's the long, dark highway, hallway. There's a million doors and you don't know what's going to come out. Or if you go to a haunted house, they're always like, yeah, jumping out of
right.
to scare you to death. Oh,
yes.
How do I get out? How do I get out of this haunted house? Well, sometimes it feels like that with our money.
Right.
So,
that's a great perspective on that.
yeah.
So the third key, is that another key that opens another door?
Yes. It's the door of perfection. It's the door, like we're like, oh, I've got it. I finally got the right keys. Now I'm so stressed and I'm thinking about 20 million other things. Does this ever happen to you?
Oh, yeah.
You finally want to do something and then you have no gas in your tank, if you will. You've got, your poor electric car is not fully charged. You just don't have it. And why is it? Because we avoid sometimes, like when the opportunity is really here, or we're just so overwhelmed. We don't even know if we're going to have the time to do this. Like, why am I doing this? I was excited in the beginning. Now I got to go do it. Right. And those are all examples of how we just sabotage ourselves instead of like going, because I know this happens all the time with business. It's never perfect. Have you ever met people that want everything perfect in their business, or I'll finally relax when it's perfect?
Oh yeah, many.
It doesn't work. It does not work.
Right.
It doesn't work at all. And so what happens is people get so stuck and then they wonder what's wrong with them. And it's like, maybe it's how you're handling all of your responsibilities, all of the things that you love to do and have fun with. Maybe those are the problems.
Ah, right. So to recap, let's go real quick. The first key is about your left and right brain, right?
Well, it's about you're at the right door, but you're using somebody else's keys. So you got to have your own keys. It's got to be personalized for you when it comes to your money.
Okay, got it. Okay. And then the second one
second door is like the door of frustration. You're finally at the right door. It's your key, but you can't turn it because you're just not in the right state. You're not open and calm.
Got it. Okay. And then number three is like you're overwhelmed kind of
You
thing.
yourself are overwhelmed. Again, right door, right key, but you're overwhelmed, you're stressed out, and now you're thinking about avoiding it. You're just like, oh, what's the point?
Okay. Okay. So when you are working with someone, like what is the first thing that you have them do? Like literally, do you have them check their finances from the last 3 months or
Oh, no, no. And I'm so glad you said that, Wendy, because you know what? That's how you shut people down.
ah
Actually, having people look at their money actually freaks them out in many ways.
yeah, right.
And so that's as a money coach, I know not to do that. So instead, what I ask them to do, because I have a money type quiz, is I ask them to take my quiz and say, let's
Oh.
talk about how you think and feel about your money. And again, we haven't even talked about the numbers.
Right. The actual numbers.
Yeah. Because, here's the thing. This is what's so tricky about the money brain is that you and I could be looking at the exact same numbers. And I might be like, we're doing great. And you're like, Wendy's like, oh my God, we're going to die. Like, it's not going to work. This business isn't going to ever work. I don't know how we're doing this. We're going to fail. Right.
Right. So your job is to help your clients to change their outlook and just make their perspective more like what you were just mentioning, not
Yeah.
being so negative about it and everything. Okay.
Yeah. Isn't
That
that amazing?
that is amazing. Yes. Because I could see that possibly happening with me. Say,
And it happens to all business owners. Doesn't matter how long they've had the business. The minute there's a money stress or even a personal stress, you might be like, I don't think I'm going to make it. Jeannie, I don't think I'm going to make it, and then it's like, well, let's pull you off the ledge and let's take a look and see what you're thinking you're not going to make. And that's what I mean by that third door. So
mhm.
people, they're like, I want everything calm. I want everything perfect. I mean, I don't know about you, but like I've gone to people's weddings and like there is like meltdown city happening, behind the doors and you can kind of hear it. Or you've been in, you've had siblings or maybe it was your own gosh darn wedding and it's just, meltdown, meltdown, meltdown. And the people are like, it's going to be fine. Nobody's going to even pay attention to that. Who cares, And
Right.
that's what I mean. Like we spend more time hyper focused on some details instead of just letting it be.
Hmm. That's awesome. Yeah, because when you're in the all the mess and the weeds, it's you can't see anything from the outside. And that's where you come in, like you're looking at the big picture. And
And helping you find the pathway through. So it's not like going, Wendy, stop. It's like, no, 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 Wendy, let's talk about this and let's see how we can point you thinking and feeling and emotionally moving in a direction that you would see the success.
okay. Awesome. That's really awesome. Also, you have a free gift for everyone. If anybody's watching right now live, just put live underneath the video. Or if you're watching the replay, right, do replay so that we can know that you are watching.
Yeah.
So Jeannie has a special free gift for us that she's going to tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So what I have is a like 30-minute little training and meditation and handbook, a little guidebook about how to upgrade your money blueprint, which is another way of saying your money story. It's taking a look at what do you think might be kind of blocking you now and where you'd like to go and giving you some very simple ideas and some strategies and to think about, meditating about your money really, really simply. Because the people who are most successful with their money, and I mean like successful, not in terms of dollar amount, people who feel happy, they enjoy their money, have usually a daily money practice of some kind. They're not like,
Oh,
I guess it'll show up eventually. No, they've got to have a money practice. I have a daily money practice. So yeah,
hmm.
yeah,
Okay. That sounds great. Thank you
yeah.
so much. Jeannie, this has been amazing. And I've invited you to the group. So
Yay.
eventually you'll be in the group so everybody can ask their questions underneath this video so that she can give you a little bit more detailed answers that you might want to get answers from. But Jeannie, thank you so much. This is a wonderful topic for us as business owners, as women. So I really appreciate you coming in. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
You are very welcome. And everyone, this is the end of this particular interview. Next week we are going to have someone great as well. So just keep looking and just so you can see who's going to be coming up next. And so Jeannie was today and this was a really great topic to talk about. And if you have any comments, questions, put those underneath this live as well. Okay, thanks so much, Jeannie, and we will see you at another time, everyone.
Take
Okay,
care. Bye bye.
bye-bye.